hello and welcome. If I'm live, which I should be, I apologise for the delay, but thank you guys for being here. Just give it a moment because it's not loading for me. There we go. Well, hey. Okay. So, Husky Lady, Shweta, Sadia, hello, Kaylee, and Leon, of course. So, I'll just explain how we're kind of going with the Aura reading. It's been, of course, scheduled for a long time, and people get busy and kind of like forget, and some people don't come in. So what we're going to do is we go with the list. Anyone on the list who has sent in a recent picture will be getting an Aura reading. If they're not live in the chat, then they will have a timestamp on their reading. If someone jumps in at the end and there's time, we will definitely do it. If people are on the list and they haven't sent their picture and they don't come in, then we will just go ahead and skip them, basically. Just skip people who have not sent in the pictures. So I apologise for being a little bit late, but thank you guys for being here. So we have Shweta, who is first, so that's great. Do we have Pooja? Just checking. Pooja definitely has sent a recent picture, so she will still be having the reading, but just seeing where we're going right now. So a recent photograph, Abby, a recent picture can be a selfie, can be a full body length picture if you wish. No particular, nothing really particular needed, to be honest. Some people like them being on a plain background. I am not really bothered. However you, and if you hear the fireworks. Leon, did you hear that? Was that quite loud? I had a session booked tomorrow, a sound healing session, and I cancelled it because I totally forgot about bonfire night, and I think the fireworks are a bit loud. So if anyone can let me know if they are quite loud, yeah, that's fine, Shweta, that's fine. We'll get with it. We'll get to it now. We are having some trouble with the music device as well. As many of you know, I use a plant music device which picks up the biorhythm of plants and translate it into music. This has become very handy because YouTube doesn't like you using copyright music. So it's become very handy for me to use that device. But it seems to be having issues lately in picking up the plants. So if that music stops, I will play one of my pre-recorded ones, which I have here down here. So just to let you know, if the sounds sound strange or loud or anything like that, I am having issues with them at the moment. But yes, anyone who's on the list, I will be checking for recent photos. Thank you for letting me know. Just let me know where you sent them, because that's the only thing. For people who aren't in, I will be checking both my emails and my Facebook just to make sure that they've sent photos or that they haven't. Okay, let's get right into it. Let's begin with Shweta anyway. Let's get right into it and begin because we might as well start. And of course, if you guys have any questions, you can go ahead and ask me. So I will be using this to check messages while the music works, but if the music stops, I may have to jump out of the YouTube chat. So we'll just see how we go for now. And Kaylee's saying that's so cool. Not sure what is so cool, but always good, always very good. So I think Shweta said Facebook Messenger, yes, so that should be great. Wonderful, okay. Yes, okay, so I'll just put that there. we'll also look over that as we do it. Oh, the plant thing, yes. It is cool. It's mostly cool. To be honest, it mostly works. It was only yesterday that it kind of played up a little bit, and today. So I'm thinking it's okay. It's sounding okay at the moment. It's better than yesterday. Oh gosh, these fireworks are all out, aren't they? Yes, I think it is sounding a bit better. I think it just had some issues with, it wouldn't charge for some reason. So I think maybe because it's fully charged now it's working better. Okay, so hello Lalima, hello. Lalima, just double check you've sent a recent photograph. I don't remember everyone who has, I know a lot of people have. We're beginning with Shweta now. Just look at this photograph. Gets a bit connected. Thank you, thank you. And as always, if you would like your picture of your aura sent to you, just get in touch with me, let me know that you would like it sent off stream. A full pic or just a selfie's fine, you know. With people who I work with closely, I actually can do this just based off energy. But I like to use the pictures because I think that it's just being sure, being certain that I'm doing it right. But a selfie, just a face is fine. Full body pics are always going to be better for aura, but it's fine. I mean, an aura device actually just goes off your energy. You put your hand on a device and it kind of translates just your hand into a aura picture. So it can be done without. Pictures can be done with energy, but just to be very safe and sure that I'm getting everything, I do prefer a picture. So, what was I talking about before that? I can't remember. Oh yes, sending the picture. So it's a little bit, it can be a little bit awkward showing you guys. Like I think yesterday I was having some issues because the ring light's quite bright, holding it in the right position to show you. So if you do want your picture sent to you, please message me off stream. So I don't check back on the stream. So if you message me off stream to Facebook or to email and say, can you send me my picture? I'll send you a picture of your picture, and I'll also send you my article that goes through what all of the colours mean. So if you forget what I've said on stream, you can look up your colour in my article. It's just like a kind of index of the different colours and what they mean. So yeah, if you do want the picture, it's absolutely fine. But just let me know off stream that you want it. Okay, so this is quite a nice one to begin with. Hold on. Just missing this here. Quite a nice colourful one. I mean, all auras are colourful, but the aura, like, meanings, they tend to talk about, like, what is the most dominant colour in the aura and what that can mean as well. So sometimes it's, like, it's interesting because you get your actual meaning for all of the different colours, and then you look at, well, what's my dominant colour, because that's my, like, I don't know, dominant traits or dominant kind of personality traits or, you know, life meaning. So, okay, so actually the light's looking good today. I think, yes, if I hold it that way it's bad, hold it that way it's okay. So that's okay. Oh, Speak too soon. So, what we have here, so we have the green here, so this is green, and then we have pink here, and then it's surrounded by yellow, which is then surrounded by a kind of deep blue, like an indigo-ish kind of colour, with some purple just shining through at the top there. Okay, so this is a very interesting aura. The pink and the green. Now, yesterday in the aura reading with the other list, the other group, there was a lot of this pink and green in the centre. This is quite common, and I feel it will become common with you guys because it's all about love. So green and pink, as you know, green is the heart chakra colour, pink is the colour of love. Okay, so that really does point to kind of an empathetic person, someone who's very kind and caring to others, as I think a lot of you are going to have this, green and pink, just by the type of people that you are anyway, but also by yesterday's group. It was very common to have a big section of green and pink, or one or the other. On some people, just one or the other. So how do they vary a little bit, because they all mean love. So it's all love energy, and it is all kind of about like compassion, empathy, and all of that. So it can extend from not just love for humans, it can extend to animals, to plants, and all of that, especially the green. The green is a very broad empathy, and both can kind of extend as well to self-love. So self-love can be quite strong in these colours. But the pink is much more about romantic love. Okay, so romantic love, that sometimes someone with pink in the aura, especially if it's very ongoing. So as you know, I'm happy to update aura readings and do them like every now and then. Prominent pink in the aura can be about bringing in a romantic partnership that's going to be long lasting. So this is a very committed, long lasting relationship. You can say that people with pink in the aura, especially if it's a very prominent, dominant colour, that it's very likely to be a long lasting relationship that you're bringing in. So yeah, very interesting, but very love energy in the centre here. Then we go around and we see the yellow. So yellow is very much about, it's kind of about joy, balance, a person with a high level of self-confidence, inner peace. But it can also suggest that you're in touch with your inner child, or in touch with your intellect. So often I find that people going through like study, education, tend to have more yellow. So they tend to have, if you're in the middle of like a course or like education, one of your predominant colours might be yellow. Of course, we can go through learning it's a normal life, learning life lessons, very learning about life, not just about education and courses. So do bear in mind that as well. It's not always that, but it does tend to point to intellect. So when we see a lot of yellow in an aura, we think quite an intelligent person, or someone who's rarely learning very strongly about something, very in depth about something, like people who are in education. And then we see the indigo here, a person who's very adventurous, spiritually connected sometimes, but open to new experiences is what we rarely see in indigo. So indigo people, there's a level of spirituality in indigo, but it's very much about being open to new experiences, being kind of, could be a traveller, could be someone who, has that wanderlust, or always seeks adventure. Someone who is a thrill seeker, or perhaps an adrenaline junkie, you might find they have predominantly indigo. It's very, very indigo. This is just around the outside. It's not very predominant. I would say the green and pink are perhaps a bit more dominant in this aura. But adventurous spirit nonetheless, or very in touch with spirituality, because we see some purple coming through at the top here. And purple, of course, is very much about spiritual connection. So there are some points where the aura colours do resonate with the chakra colours. Like we see the love in the green, like the heart chakra is green, and the spirituality in the purple, like the third eye is purple. But not always. It doesn't always correlate exactly to the chakras. So where we're seeing the indigo there, we might think. Then again, sometimes indigo is used for the third eye instead of purple, and that does have some spiritual meaning to it. And this can also reflect someone who's kind of has a higher wisdom, an old soul. If you have indigo in your aura, you might be an old soul. And also, you could be someone who is very good at discerning truth from lies, okay? So these people might be a good judge of character. Know who to trust, know who not to trust. And then, of course, with the spiritual, a bit of spiritual awareness coming in there at the top. Could be some guide connection with the spirit guides, because just coming through there, the top of the aura. So that is Shweta. And, of course, I will write everyone's name on there, so you can have your picture afterwards. So just put that there. Oh. Okay, and next we will go on to... Hello, China Moon, hello. You're very welcome to stay and have a reading at the end if there is time. Absolutely. So now we will move on to Pooja. So Pooja is... You're very welcome. And China Moon, if you're still here, you're very welcome to stay to the end for a reading. I think a few people aren't present and also haven't sent in pictures, so I think we will get there. We'll get there. So we're not looking at Pooja, sorry guys. I know that Pooja sent a picture, and I know that it was by email, so let me get to my emails here. Email. And it was that email. Like I said, I have two emails. admin@secretfrequencies.com and secretfrequencies@outlook.com. So, okay, so the device does seem to have fixed itself. Okay, so we have Pooja now. Very nice. You guys sent very nice pictures. Some of you are very modest. Oh, I just took this morning, and I look a mess. And, you know, but you all look very nice. Okay, so let's just take a moment. Oh, sorry. One thing I didn't go over on Shweta. Sorry, I just have to go back to this. There was a bit of grey. I was so taken. I don't know if I mentioned this. So there's a little bit of grey at the bottom here, which is surrounding mostly the pink, which is the more romantic love, and the yellow, which is that inner child connection and things like that. Now, this is a bit of grey. Grey is very kind of emotional energy. I completely forgot to point that out. I'm so sorry. So grey is very emotional energy. It reveals emotions of kind of lower emotions or lower self-esteem. So sometimes in the area that it is, so if it's in the purple area, it could say you have low self-esteem about your spiritual gifts. If it's, you know, like not really believing in yourself. If it's around here, it could be that you have low self-esteem and not thinking that you deserve that partner that's coming in. Or you don't think you deserve, you know, love, basically, because it's around the love area. But also around the yellow area as well. So it could be that she has a high intelligence, but she doesn't believe that. She kind of puts herself down. So sorry about that, I forgot to mention that. Grey is a very kind of emotional colour. So sometimes when we see dark colours in the aura, sometimes it is a more negative thing, you know. People with very murky purple tend to be egotistical, things like that. So when we see a murky colour or grey, we do tend to think that it's negative. But grey itself does tend to be quite it's negative in the sense that, of course, you shouldn't have low self-esteem, but just does tend to be more emotional, like an emotional issue, having low self-esteem or something like that. So yeah, really sorry to not touch on that, but let's go ahead with Pooja. I totally forgot to mention that there. Okay. That's kind of leaked through a little bit, but should be okay. Oh, I'm so sorry, Life Lessons. This isn't a question stream. So sorry. This is Aura reading this stream. So sorry. Okay, so this is Pooja, and actually this is quite a nice bright aura, but there are some things to talk about here. So we have, again, we have a very predominant pink part of the aura, which is very nice. Like I said, love energy. There could be love for self-love. There could be love for friends and family. There could be romantic love connections. But because we also see quite a bit of like the pink kind of fades out to an orange. So it fades out to an orange. Now orange is very creative energy, so it is similar to the chakra where it's creative energy. Also some intimate energy comes in orange in the aura. Someone with orange in the aura could be very connected to their sexuality, creative, very creative. someone who's satisfied with their relationships with others, okay? So if they get into a relationship, they're not someone who feels, they don't look elsewhere, they're not, or they might keep friends for a very long time, friends since childhood and things like that, because they're very satisfied with their relationships. So don't expect too much from people that are quite satisfied in their relationships. And it's very nice that the orange kind of surrounds the pink. The pink kind of fades out to orange. And then we have the red at the bottom here and yellow at the top. So we're going to our darker colours here at the bottom, going to our lighter colours here at the top of the aura. So red, colour of passion, colour of someone who follows their passions. Could be someone who's kind of, they intend to follow their life goals, right through. So not someone who just has dreams and they're in that mindset of being dreamy. They put action into their life goals. So someone who does like to take action to meet their life goals. But there could be a lot of passion. Could be grounded. So again, where the red, sometimes the colours do reflect a little bit of the chakra colour as well. So groundedness, like we see with the red chakra, the root chakra. Could be someone who is quite materially focused. So it could be very, they enjoy indulging in the physical pleasures of life and things like that. There is kind of a more physical side to this, which is interesting that it's balanced with the yellow, because like I said before, the yellow is very much about inner child connection, joy and balance. Someone who has self-confidence, high self-confidence sometimes can come in here, but also someone, if there's a lot of yellow in the aura, and okay, there isn't a lot of yellow here, but if there's a lot of yellow in the aura, it does suggest that this person could have a spiritual awakening. So it's interesting that even though it's not a dominant colour, it's balanced by this red. We have the groundedness, the material loves, and then we have the yellow, so we have some more kind of spiritual, more, in touch with the inner authentic self, the spiritual side here at the top. So it balances out a bit, a little bit nicely. It's a very nice bright aura mostly. There's some murky pink, the bottom here, some murky pink, some so it's more of a murky pink than the grey colour, so less of that emotional energy that we saw on Shweeta's picture. But murky pink can indicate someone who's a little bit, they could be unrealistic, or they could be naive. There could be some naivety. There could be some, still some growing to do in love, perhaps, because it's around the love, the love. We always have to think about what also it's surrounding as well. So it isn't just, it's murky pink just on its own. It's coming down from this nice bright pink, so this nice bright romantic energy, and then it's more murky around. Is there some naivety in love, or is it just naivety in general? Or is this person just a little bit immature, a little bit? So they need to grow. They have a little bit of growing to do, perhaps. And then we have the murky colour at the bottom here, the more murky red. Okay, so we do see with the more, so of course this is just me drawing on a template, but we have bright red and we have deep red. So deep red tones show strong, resilient and all of that. We have the more murky colour at the bottom, which can be some kind of dissatisfaction with this physical energy. There could be some dissatisfaction about this, and there could be some challenges around. So red does indicate someone who, who's overcomes challenges quite well and things like that. The very kind of nice brightness of it. But when we're getting this more murky colour in here, there's something that needs to be released in a healthy way. There's a kind of harbouring of something, a keeping down of something, And so this I do feel is a little bit more emotional. Could be a bit of a block going on the material path, on the material life path. So in terms of mostly with the love energy, yes, there's a bit of murkiness here. Self-doubt maybe, self-doubt around love, not thinking that you're deserving enough and things like that. And it can be the same in this sense as well. It can be a seeking that on the material path, but they're not satisfied yet. They're seeking something more on this material path a little bit. Yeah, a little bit of, you know, draining energy at the bottom there and all of that. So that was Pooja's. It's really difficult to show them. I know the ring light's a bit bright, but there we go. Pooja there. So next we have Sadia, and I do believe we have a picture from Sadia, maybe on the same email here. Oh, close. Yes, Lima, I will timestamp, yes. I'm just looking for Sadia's picture. And Husky Lady's here as well, so that's great. Oh, this is playing up on me a little bit. Let's search. Oh yes, actually I have this picture. The picture Sadia sent was, I made a folder for upcoming aura pictures and I put Sadia in there and forgot about adding anyone else to it. Yes, I have Sadia, yes. I remember that now. Okay. Okay. So let's go over this one. This one was quite quick. So here we have Sadia. So we have yellow in the center, and yellow is quite dominant in this aura. So this can be, like I said, connection to inner child, someone who knows when to, you know, connect with their playful inner child side. high intellect, so someone who is learning at the moment, going through, like I said, if someone's doing a course or they're in education, yellow can be a dominant colour. Can just be learning life lessons, as I said, but also yellow, someone with a lot of yellow indicates, I'm trying to move my hair on my face with my pencil, so someone who has a lot of yellow, this can indicate that it's more likely that this person will experience a spiritual awakening, okay? So yellow is kind of an indication that someone will experience a spiritual awakening, more so than someone who has. So we see here, we see the purple, we see the purple at the top, but it's not a dominant colour. People with purple as a dominant colour are people who are highly spiritual. Could be a psychic or a reader or something like that. Might be very prominent and dominant in purple. Whereas there is purple in this aura, but it's not the dominant colour. So is this yellow indicating that this purple wants to grow a bit, is this person headed onto a path of a spiritual awakening? Maybe. Can just be learning life lessons, can be learning in education or training in a workplace as well. Training in a workplace can also bring like this yellow. Or you're really connected to your inner child and things like that. And joy and balance. Joy and balance really come through in yellow as well. And it's surrounded by this kind of thin energy of pink. Thin pink energy. And a little bit more on the green side than the pink side. Oh, sorry, my leg is stuck. Right, so a little bit more on the green side than the pink side. So like I said, green and pink are both the love energies. Pink is someone who's bringing in a romantic partnership or who will get in a long-term committed romantic partnership. And green is that more broad, open, holistic love for plants, love for animals, love for everyone around them, no matter, do I know them or not. Empathy, great empathy coming through with those colours. They're not dominant, but still, it's very nice to have a little bit of them in the aura. Then we have, so this is where the grey comes in. I just get to the grey before I miss it out like I did with Shweta. So the grey energy, very emotional kind of energy. It reveals our emotions. It reveals where we might have low self-esteem or where we might be sensitive as well. So self-doubt, sadness, sensitivity. In the around the more the romantic love side and this education, intellect, spiritual awareness, or possibility of spiritual awakening, this yellow energy and this pink energy have more of this grey around. So is there a low self-esteem when it comes to intellect? Is there a low self-esteem when it comes to love? So they're the things that we have to think about. Are you telling yourself that you're not worth, this love? Are you telling yourself that you're not smart enough or not, sometimes we do that. Sometimes we look at other people and think, whoa, I'm really not very smart, or I'm really not very this, I'm really not very that. And this is where this grey, it's emotional energy in the grey. So do you have some sadness or low self-esteem in some area that's linked to that? Could even be she doesn't feel she's worthy of a spiritual awakening, If this yellow is very connected to that spiritual awakening side, is she perhaps thinking, I'm not worthy of having a spiritual awakening? Something like that. But it's interesting because we have the purple here at the top. So we do have that spiritual awareness, spiritual connectivity. Someone who's transcended the limits of their ego sometimes. So it can be someone who isn't very egotistical, very out of that kind of mindset that a lot of people are in. Someone who can see the bigger picture. Sometimes. And balanced by the indigo here. So indigo again. So we have indigo. So this is all about, it can be spiritual connectivity. So we see yellow, purple and it's indigo. So there definitely is some spiritual energy coming through with this person. But it's not always just spiritual. So it can be someone who's spontaneous, someone who is adventurous, you know, someone who gets a little bit bored, likes to seek a bit of fun, a bit of a thrill sometimes, open to new experiences, so not necessarily seeking them out, but someone who might always say yes to them, you know. So it's that kind of, you know, that friend, they're not always doing something new, but you know that if you invite them or ask them, they're going to say yes, you know, always up for something new. Someone who has a great intuition, great insights, you know, they might be able to discern truth from lies quite easily. So someone who can, very discerning of truth, what is truth and what is a lie. And interesting, the first one we are seeing with metallic colour. So we have around the top here, we have gold. Now gold is, well, it can be many things in the gold, but what we see here is spiritual protection. Okay, so I can tell a lot of the time if it's spiritual protection or if it's a specific guide stood there, you know, and this is spiritual protection. So she's having protection here as well. So the only really thing to address would be that emotional energy. What is making you feel that you're not worthy in some way, or what is making you feel down in this sense? But there's a lot of positives in this aura. It's very nice aura there. And none of you have not nice auras, but anyway. But hello, Sylvie. Hello, or Sylv. Hello and welcome. Please read the banner. Yes, if you're new, please read the banner. So next we are up to Husky Lady. Okay, so we have Husky Lady now. And all the pages are stuck together. Okay. So Husky Lady sent a picture by Facebook. So let's get to that. Thank you very much. So Husky Lady says, is there any way you could put the old aura picture next to the new one? Let me just see if I sent you the old one. In fact, I'm not going to look at for the old one until I've done this one, because I don't want to be influenced by what I draw. But what I'll do is I'll do this one, and then I'll find the old one in our chat, and I'll hold them up side by side, and we can see how they've changed or how they haven't changed, perhaps. So let's see. So focus on this. Okay, Sadia, I hope to talk to you soon. Yeah, just message me outside of the chat to let me know you want the picture and I'll send it right over. Okay. Husky lady. Okay, so this is, oh, I haven't written her name on. Okay, so here we have Husky Lady. So this is Husky Lady's aura from the current recent picture that she sent. So we will do a side-by-side comparison in a second. So we have green in the centre here. So again, empathetic people, you're all very empathetic. So of course we're going to see the green. Green is sometimes in the auras of aura of healers as well. So I don't have a dark green and a light green here, but the more lighter kind of greens tend to be in people who are healers or people who are, you know, could be healers, very spiritual, very healing energy, calming energy, good for other people, you know, good for givers, you know, givers. And it's interesting because this green did, so it was quite bright green in the centre, fading to light green with then some yellow around. And so yes, that's why I'm mentioning that light green being the colour of healers, the colour of, you know, healers, mostly healers. So they tend to be very empathetic, have healing energy. So it's more a healer sign than a psychic sign, if that makes sense. So could be Reiki healers, could be could go more you know, in the material world kind of healers, so nurses, doctors, all those kind of things as well. Or it could just be someone who people love to confide in, you know. It could be very trusted. People could really resonate with you and feel kind of drawn to you and feel kind of like, you know, people are very open with you often when you have, so if you look, she has a few colours in here, but green is quite dominant. And so people might think like she's very trusted, you know. I haven't told anyone this, but for some reason I feel comfortable telling you, you know, that kind of person. But then we're fading out to the yellow. It's surrounded a little bit by yellow. So yellow is very non-dominant in this aura, but still it's there. So high intellect, connection to inner child, what else is in yellow? Possibility of spiritual awakening, you know, joy, harmony, balance, things like that. So it is nice to have the yellow in between the two love colours because we have pink as well here. So we have the green fade into light green, like the healer energy. Then we have a slight bit of yellow, fading then into pink. So it's very, very nice. Could be a lot of self-love here. You know, someone who you know, knows their worth in a way. You know, someone who, and that's needed in empaths and healers, because if not, you'll be taken for granted, you know. So is there a lot of self-love in here? There could be some self-love as well, because self-love is quite prominent in green and pink. So green and pink being quite not more dominant when you mix them together, they're quite dominant. The pink's not quite as dominant. But this person does have quite a bit of pink, and again suggesting that you might have luck in your love life. You might end up in a long-term committed positive relationship. And then we are surrounded then by the red. And again, passion. Passionate energy, someone who's strong, a warrior spirit, okay, warrior spirit energy in red energy. Someone who's resilient, someone who's maybe set onto their life goals or may have achieved some life goals, you know, someone who's very, because they're very proactive, you know, action. If I want something or I want to achieve something, I will do it, you know, so those kind of people. Doesn't mean they're always on the go, but does mean that when they, you know, when they know what they want and they do want something, they will go and get it. Not going to sit around talking about it for too long before they actually take action, you know. Very warrior spirit energy. Someone who doesn't necessarily have to be alone, but can make things work alone, you know. Might be someone who is in a, like I said, in a very nice committed relationship, but if that was to end, if something bad was to happen, there's no doubt this person would be able to look after themselves, you know. So not necessarily a lone wolf, but very capable of being independent when we have a lot of red. Warrior spirit, resilient energy. But we do see some murkiness coming in this red. So we do see some murkiness there, kind of surrounding the pink a little bit, but it does seem to be more in the red. Now, this is interesting because I actually talked to Husky Lady, so, you know, I talked to a lot of you guys off stream, and Husky Lady has had some physical illnesses, you know, ailments, issues going on lately. I did ask in one stream for, you know, love, light and blessings to be sent to Husky Lady, so I can always be a little bit biased in my readings and say maybe this is due to that because it's in the physical part, you know, the red is very physical. So is the murkiness just because she had some blocks, some stagnation in the physical, you know, because it's very much related to the physical life? Is that why it's murky? It can be, okay? She just wants to point that out, that sometimes murkiness in the red can be more about actual stagnant in physical movement. So if we're sick, or, you know, we've gone through something, if you broken a limb or something, maybe you don't move as much as you used to, and for some reason, some injury, some ailment, you may find that you get murkiness in this red. If you have red in your aura, you may get some murkiness in there. So just to point that out. But also, murkiness in red can be harbouring of emotions. So it can be harbouring of anger, harbouring of you know, more of those negative emotions. So not necessarily sadness, because I think that will come more in grey, but low emotions. So if you're someone who, you know, you're not very might be too forgiving to the point where actually someone did do you wrong and you're kind of harbouring that negative energy because you don't want to give it to them. You want to forgive them. You want to be very forgiving because you're, you know, have the colours here of compassion and empathy. So perhaps sometimes it's because we're too forgiving that then we begin to harbour this negative energy because we don't release it in a healthy way, because we just tell them, yeah, it's fine, you know, you can just I forgive you, it's fine. So sometimes it's harbouring of those more negative energies, emotions. And then we have surrounded by the indigo. So indigo again, spiritual connection, possibility of spiritual connectedness, yes. There we go, there, it's a bit less bright. There can be people who seek, like I said, can seek adventure, or can be that person that says yes to new things, you know. This isn't often the person who always goes to the same restaurant, always orders the same thing. Although in this aura it's not the dominant colour, but it's still there. So there could be some element of liking new things, liking trying new things, like meeting new people. Maybe can be about meeting new people as well. Blue's always a very kind of outgoing colour, meeting new people. Can also be someone who's a bit calm, enjoys meditation, things like that. Someone who's approachable as well, because we have it very, very, it's not the most dominant colour, but it's surrounding, you know, so sometimes this is approachable, very approachable, nice, someone who people feel they can connect with, can confide in, approachable person, and it could be someone as well who's quite stands up for their loved ones, you know. They might have a small circle, or they might be very discerning. So blue does symbolise someone who discerns truth from lies quite well. So it could be someone who's very discerning in their friendship groups as well, and they're you know, they're very outgoing and active, and someone to confide in, but within that small group, basically. So they can really stick up for those people who they rarely deem being in their small, enclosed kind of group. And anything that threatens that group or threatens those people, this person is going to be very, very kind of defending of that, you know, really defending of that. The group might not be a very big group, it might be people who they keep close to their heart, but they will be in defence of them. They will be, if anyone threatens them, if anything threatens them, that this person's going to be by your side, basically. So yes, so let's now find the other picture. So I'm sure that was Husky Lady that said put them side by side. Am I making it up? Oh yes, it's in the Facebook chat, that's why. Ignore me. Right, okay, so let me see. I think I did send it. Yes, let me just put the brightness up. Here, oh, it's up all the way. Okay. So I will send this one as well to Husky, but there we have the old aura and the new aura there. So of course the one on the device is the old one. So we can see there's still a lot of green and pink. The green and pink's kind of grown a little bit actually. Interesting how there was much more blue in the old one and less red. So that's very interesting. So is that because there's been some physical, you know, need for focus on the physical? So a lot of the time when we need to focus on the material, we need to focus on the physical things, the red can come more into the aura. So has she focused more on her physical side and stepped away a little bit from the spiritual side, maybe? Something like that. Because that could be the reason why the red and blue have kind of swapped over there. And we can see in the old one, there's some purple in the head area with a block around it, a bit of a block around it. But there's no longer purple, but there's also no longer a block, which indicates whatever the spiritual block was has gone, but there's just a little bit of a block on her physical there on the red, murky red. But there was a little bit of murkiness in the same area, or similar area, depending how, it's the opposite side. But there was a little bit of murkiness there in the pink. So that's interesting as well. How there's still a bit of murkiness, but it's kind of almost changed where it is almost. Was that connected to the red? No, it wasn't. It was connected to the pink. So that's interesting. There's less stagnant energy less stagnant, kind of murky energy in this new one, and it is more material based linked. So there could be some positive spiritual improvements as well, where we're seeing the blue is very clear, but there's no purple, so it does suggest that you may have focused a little bit more on the physical side recently, so rather than the spiritual side. So it's interesting. It's very interesting to compare them. Let's see when that one was sent. When did she join on to? Oh, I don't have a date on it. It's not giving me a date. I don't know why. It should do, really. Information. 31st of July. Okay, so it's like 3 months. That's a good time to do, by the way, if you're thinking of having another aura reading soon. 3 months is very good, for a year, or 3 a year even. Every 3 to 4 months is very good time to have your aura readings done, because the changes do happen quicker than palm reading. So the lines on your hand don't change very often. As you guys know, I do palm reading, but an aura reading. So the auras change by mostly emotional and spiritual changes. So of course, we do see aura changes with physical things. We see people who get very sick or have really big physical changes that impact them emotionally or spiritually. We do see it come out in the aura, but it doesn't tend to show too much of the physical. Where we're seeing that in the comparison, we saw more red than blue and purple. That gives us some indication that there could be more focus on physical than spiritual. But if you're not comparing the auras month to month, you're probably not going to see much physical indication. You won't see much physical indication from one aura, but if you compare them month to month, you may do. So very interesting. Keep your aura pictures and compare them as well, month to month if you can. If you can. So 3 to 4 months, I wouldn't really suggest having an aura picture more recent than that. Every month, I think. Probably not going to change too much, and if it does, you're clearly doing a lot of spiritual work or a lot of self-improvement. That will rarely be the reason. Either you're having a lot of emotional stress or spiritual attacks, or you're rarely evolving spiritually or healing emotionally. There would be the main reasons why your aura would change. Okay, so next we have it's Teiko, who I haven't had any communication from. I haven't had any communication, I don't believe. We'll double check my emails just to be sure. Wouldn't like to have missed them. So we'll just double check before we do move on from that. Okay, none to that email. Definitely none to that email. So oops. Clicked on Abby's pic. Oh, I did it again. Clicked on Abby's picture there. And Abby will be soon. Is Ashika here? Oh, I mean, Teiko doesn't tend to come in other than the odd crystal ball, so it doesn't really strike me as strange that Teiko hasn't sent anything in. But Ashika, I thought Ashika probably would have. But perhaps not. Okay. So, oops. Let me just... So, Husky Lady, I think, may have jumped out, but I will go back and timestamp that for her if so. Teiko, no? Definitely not. Let's just check Ashika then. So, do we have Kaylee or Sherry in? Even Sherry. Oh, but Sherry, I think, did send a picture. So, we'll see. Do we have, Kaylee? Is Kaylee still here? Let's just try Ashika. Oh, it's a shame. It's a shame. But I suppose it's been up for a while. There's been plenty of time. Porn pictures. Oh no, she must. Oh wait. Oh no, that was a very old one. Has Ashika had palm reading done before? I mean, aura reading. Oh, she did send one. She sent a picture, but a very long time ago. I know I always plan the streams very far in advance. Hello, Andrea. Hello and welcome. Hello and welcome. You're very welcome. You can subscribe. You can check out our upcoming streams and let me know if you would like to be on any of them. So Ashika sent a picture. It's quite a while ago, but I certainly don't think she's had any aura reading done. So we'll do it. We'll do it even though it was sent a very long time ago. We'll still do it. We can timestamp this one. And then we'll do Kaylee next. And Sherry, so don't know, is Sherry, Sarah, or Lalima here? Who's here that's on the list? How about just comment if you're here and you're on the list? Apart from Kaylee, I know Kaylee's here. So let's do Ashika, because it might be done quite quickly, and we will definitely be able to timestamp for China Moon. If she's not in, we can timestamp for her. Because I think there are quite a few not in who haven't sent pictures, and she has, so that's perfect. So let's do Ashika now of this. It's an old picture, but we'll do it. And I'm getting Facebook message. Is that Andrea? Andrea, did you just Facebook me? Okay, so you'll be at the very end of the list for if there's time at the end. So we have Ashika, Kaylee, Lalima. So Ashika, Kaylee, Lalima, Abby, and then China Moon. And then maybe we have Kida. I don't know. We'll have to check Kida. Yes, if there's time at the end, I will definitely do that. I think there will be, because I think quite a few people aren't here. But let's go on with Ashika now first. Let's do Ashika's picture. And don't worry, guys. If you have to jump out, don't worry. But if you are going to be gone for a long time, perhaps ask for a timestamp, because Ashika will be timestamping now. 1 hour and 8 minutes? 1 hour, 8 minutes? No, 1 hour and 9 minutes, let's say. Thank you, Andrea. And guys, if you're in, please like the video. I always forget to ask, but please like the video. Thank you, Leon. Hello, Marilee. Hello. If there's time at the end, you're very, very welcome. You have to send a recent photo. If it's not recent, then the aura reading won't be perfect. Auras can change due to spiritual changes and emotional changes. So you would have to send a photograph. My Facebook and my email are both in the description. And you're very welcome to send pictures to me there. The most recent photograph, even just a selfie, I don't show the pictures on the stream. I won't show any pictures live. So don't worry about that. So, yeah, don't worry about that. Okay, so here we have Ashika's aura. Very nice again. Seeing the green and the pink. Oh no, there's no pink, sorry. Seeing the green though. The green in you guys' aura again. So again, this green, quite light, okay? So quite light green. So green generally, very empathetic. So don't be mistaken that some people think the green is like jealousy and all of that. It is if it's very murky, okay? Very murky, very dark. But this is not murky and dark green. So with this one, we have the bright green and we have the light green. So very often healer energy, the energy of a healer. Very empathetic, okay? This person has a lot of love. Very compassionate. Could be some self-love in there, hopefully. Self-love can come in the green. But very, very empathetic. Green is much more broad. So like I said, green is love and pink is love. But the green energy, the green colour in the aura is much more about that broad love. Love for others, love for the romantic partner, love for plants, animals, themselves. Many different things that this person can love, you know. Love for things as well, yes. Love for my home, love for my car, you know, whatever it is. Love, very broad, grand love, okay. But then we're covered here, oh yeah, sorry, there is a bit of pink. There is pink in this aura, I thought there was, but it's murky, okay? So we have the murky pink here, and this is, so the murky pink, it's not murky pink, it's grey within pink. I'm so sorry to mix that up. Grey, so grey is very emotional energy. And what this could suggest, it tends to be low self-esteem. Low self-esteem or low mood energy. So we see it only in the pink, which is interesting because there's this broad, compassionate love. And then the pink, although the pink can be a broad love, it can be a love for friends, love for family, love for myself. It's very much more related to the romantic partner than the green is. So when we see pink in someone's aura, more prominent than green, we think, yeah, that person's most likely going to end up with a romantic partner that matches them. They're very likely going to end up with, you know, in a long-term committed relationship, basically. But why is there a lot of grey within this pink? It's almost like, so low self-esteem. It's interesting to have low self-esteem in the colour that's most likely representing love for herself, okay? So the low energy, it could be that perhaps she doesn't feel she deserves love. Perhaps she's been, you know, broken down a little bit, maybe a breakup, heartbreak, something like that, that's made her feel she doesn't really deserve it because there's some depression or lack of self-esteem. So it's not always depression, but it can often be like lower mood energy, like, you know, not necessarily depression, but quite low mood energy when it comes to love. And lack of self-esteem as well. So has there been some issue in love that's caused this? Because it's not really affecting the green, that broader compassion she has, that empathy, but it's affecting the pink a little bit there. So yes, working on the emotional side will clear this up and may even expand the pink a little bit as well. And then we have that yellow. So interesting, we see yellow at the feet here. Sorry, the ring light's really bright. So seeing yellow here at the feet, okay? So yellow, intellectual person, connected to the inner child, connection to inner child. They can be joyful, peaceful, balanced. And it's interesting because yellow can suggest high self-confidence, whereas the grey would suggest low self-confidence. So is this person usually high in self-confidence, and then there's been something that's just lowered that self-confidence in love or something like that? But high self-confidence, and again, yellow, indicative of someone who could have a spiritual awakening, could be prone to having some kind of spiritual awakening there, which is interesting because apart from gold, it's the only really spiritual colour. Yes, we have the healer energy here, but healer could be very physical. A healer could be a doctor, could be a nurse, could be someone who's just like a therapist, or someone who just friends and family confide in. So a healer in the green sense isn't always spiritual healer, okay? But then the yellow suggests she could be prone to having a spiritual awakening. But then we see the red energy at the top here. Interesting to have it at the top because there's a groundedness in red, and a lot of the times when people are balanced, which the yellow suggests that she is, we would often see the red at the bottom. But again, red, warrior spirit, someone with a warrior spirit, because this is a nice bright red, don't forget. So people often think red and aura, that's negative, but not always. If it's a murky red, yes, but this is quite a bright, nice red, resilient, hard-working, could be focused on material, focused on the material. It's very in the head area. Could be some focus on the material things, working towards something, a savings goal or a house goal or car goal, something like that, job goal. But yes, they're very warrior spirited people like this, with this kind of red energy. Now, don't forget, the prominent colours are green and yellow. So the empathy, the compassion, and that intellect, the inner child, and that spiritual awakening possibility are prominent. They're the dominant colours, but there is that red energy, there is passion, there is connection to life goals, physical life goals, This could be someone who can achieve life goals, warrior spirit energy, very capable of achieving physical life goals if they set them. But then we see the gold here. Like I said, we do have another spiritual colour here, gold. What I feel here is an actual spirit guide. So I feel a spirit guide present with Ashika here. Don't forget, this is a couple of months ago. Maybe she's cleared up the emotions here since then. Maybe the spirit guide has guided her to where it needed to and isn't as present anymore, but maybe it is. But yes, that's what we're seeing with Ashika there. And I'm feeling that gold can sometimes mean spiritual protection, but I'm feeling a spirit guide with Ashika there. Okay, so that was Ashika. So now, so Marilee just didn't reply, I don't think. Yeah, sorry, maybe I didn't reply fast enough. But next, so we've missed Takeo because Takeo's not here. So we have Kaylee. We have Kaylee next. Okay. So we may run out of female templates at some point, but that's okay because we just use male ones and it's absolutely fine. But for now, we have a couple more. We have 2 more after Kaylee. Okay, so Kaylee. So then we have, I don't think Sherry has made herself known, but did she send a picture? Actually, Sherry might have sent a picture, so we'll check that after Kaylee's. Let's do Kaylee's first. So let's get to Kaylee. Kaylee. Oh, Kaylee, where did you send your picture? I think it was... Oh, I might have to log out of this. Yeah, I think it was to my personal Facebook, which I never use. Literally never use. Oh, it's wrong Kaylee. Ooh. Click the wrong Kaylee and now I'm being logged out. Log in. Excuse me. Sorry, I was logged out. And I'm just logging back in. Okay. It's taking its time. That's okay. I have patience. Just being very, very slow. Okay, this is very annoying. Oh my gosh, please, anything to do with, my YouTube, please just message me on Secret Frequencies, please. This is really taking its time. Hello, Lollipop Flavor Explosion, hello. Yeah, I know. That's why it's taking so long, because it's on the personal one, and it's logged me out for some reason. There we go. I think we are up now, up and running. What's going on? You're very welcome to send me a picture, Lollipop. Yeah, I need your full picture. Sorry, a recent picture, not a full picture. It doesn't have to be full, don't worry. A recent picture. And you can be added to the end. We have Kaylee. I think Sherry did send a picture. Lalima did. Abby did. Kid, I'm not so sure. Then we have China Moon. Then we have Andrea. And then it will be you. So if you don't manage to get onto the end of this one, you're always very welcome to be on the first person on the next list. Yes, being the first person on the next list. But do check out my upcoming streams. It's very, very regular that I do many readings. many readings. So I hope you enjoy. Good light would be great, but it's not. Oh, better light is better, yes, but it's okay. It's whatever you can do. Whatever you can do is fine. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just as long as it's not too dark. If it's too dark, it might be a bit of an issue. And guys, if you haven't liked the video yet, please do like the video. But yes, beginning with Kaylee's now. No, the aura picture should be of your face or your... Yeah, aura pictures like your face or your upper body, your whole body if you wish. Kaylee sent full body. Yeah, aura should be like face, of the face or the body. You know, face and body, like head, shoulders, you know, head and shoulders. Okay. That's okay, don't worry. Yeah, I do palm reading as well, so your hand may come in handy at some point if you want to join on a palm reading one time. But yes, this is face or, you know, head and shoulders, or full body if you can, like Kaylee has, is great. But whatever you can do. Thank you very much. We do have a few to go, but should be okay. Okay. Oh, no, sorry. First time using this one, I think. Today. Oh no, that's black. My mistake. Ooh, oh no, that's gonna leak. I don't have tissues. Yeah, they're like paint pens, so I just wanted to make sure I dab that up so it doesn't leak. Bear with me 1 second. It shouldn't be too long. Actually, I haven't got as much paint on myself as yesterday, but just that one. Sometimes when it's the first time you use it and you kind of shake it up, because they're paint pens, they're actually really good for artists, which was the reason I got them in the first place. But I don't really paint or draw anymore, but they come in handy for this, so that's fine. Okay, so here we have Kaylee's. So, oh, there we are. So, very, very nice. Aura here. So we have, in the centre, we have the pink. So again, a lot of pinks, a lot of greens, a lot of love energy in this group. So there's the, sorry, there is the pink. So we have joyful, harmony with others. So can create harmony with others. Compassionate, gentle, loving. So like I said, this can be very broad, like the green energy, where the love does extend to friends, family, pets, animals, plants, you know. It can be a very empathetic love that does extend to those, but it tends to be more about being in a long-term committed relationship. So it does tend to point more to I'm going to end up in a very long-term committed relationship when I have this colour in my aura. Naturally nurturing, so it can be naturally nurturing as well, these people. There was ever so slightly a little bit of grey in Kaylee's aura here. And like I said, grey is very emotional energy. It's very emotional. It can reveal low self-esteem. It can reveal doubts. You know, do you feel unworthy of this love a little bit? Do you doubt it? You know, because there's a lot of pink here, and I do know that Kaylee is in a very positive relationship. Was there some doubts? You know, was this is too good to be true, or this is too good for me? Was there some doubts at some point? Because it's very, very small grey, which suggests that either there's a small little niggling of doubt that might be in the back of the mind, or it may suggest that perhaps at one point, because I know you've been in this relationship for some time now, so perhaps at one point there was a lot of grey and you really felt like, oh my, like, am I worthy of this? But then you started to believe you were. You know, there is self-love in pink as well. So perhaps she really began to believe she was worthy, and perhaps she's releasing this emotional energy naturally herself through thinking she is worth it. But just to be mindful, there's a bit of grey there. So do you have some doubt or something like that? Do you have a little bit of low self-esteem or a little bit of doubt around your intimate connection? Because grey tends to be low energy, low emotion. It's a very emotional emotional colour, and it can be about having issues reaching goals. That's why I said goal. But yeah. So if you had some issues about reaching the goal of that long-lasting committed relationship, and then when you reached it, perhaps that grey started to release. So it is a little bit of a question. Is this a little niggling thing in the back of your mind, or is this releasing because you're beginning to accept that things are good for you, you know? But then we have the red, so surrounded by red. So we have red, but don't forget, apart from this murky bit at the bottom, which we'll touch on, this is a nice bright red. So we have resilience, we have that warrior energy, we have that, you know, could be focused a bit on life goals, you know, someone who likes to try to achieve life goals, has a life mission, a more material kind of life mission, has something they've always desired in the material sense, so specific job, specific carbs, specific home, you know, something very material that you're set on reaching. But strong, resilient, warrior spirit energy here. But we have a little bit of murkiness as well in the red, slightly ever so more than the pink, and it's murky as opposed to grey. So what this is suggesting to us here is that there is some harbouring of emotion, okay? So it could be anger, some kind of negative emotion that's being harboured a little bit. So is there a old situation that you haven't quite released from, you know? Is there something that you just, because we all have negative emotions, okay? We all have anger, we all have, you know, I don't know, regret, resentment, whatever it is. We all experience negative emotions. So it's not to say people with murky red in their aura, they have negative emotions and the rest of us don't. The rest of us are perfect. It's nothing like that. But what suggests, if it's in your aura, it suggests that it could be something that you're just not quite releasing in a healthy way. So it could be, a lot of us are very spiritual and we really like to be in this energy of forgiveness, you know, forgiveness. But this could be about someone you can't quite forgive. So you're really in the energy of forgiveness, you're very spiritual, you're very strong, but is this someone you can't quite forgive? Do you need to release that anger in a different way, you know, rather than just thinking, I'm moving on, I'm going to forgive and forget? Do you need to like paint? Do you need to, you know, channel that anger into like a creative hobby or something? Because there's a little bit of harbouring emotion there. And it isn't necessarily anger, okay? I'm saying anger because in murky red, it's most commonly anger. But it can be other emotions. It can be sadness, it can be grief, you know? So it could be grief. It could be that you're not quite healed from a grieving situation, and you need to kind of maybe release some negative emotion you have around it in a healthy way. So there could be, you know, perhaps that was bigger when you were rarely grieving. Perhaps there was a lot more of that murky red in your aura, and you're healing, and as you're doing that, you're releasing this murky red. Because don't forget, the bright red shows the warrior spirit, the very strong energy. So is it something like that, you know? But again, surrounded by blue. So we have another one that's surrounded by indigo. Sorry, it's not just blue, it's indigo here. Surrounded by the indigo. So adventurous, spiritually connected. So when we have blue in the aura, these people aren't always, like, they don't always fully know they're spiritually connected. So they don't always have a spirit guide that they know and they call on, you know. But they are spiritually connected in some way. Spiritually connected, adventurous, spontaneous. They will say yes. You know, you say, oh, I'm going on holiday tomorrow, but, my so-and-so can't come. Do you want to take their place? Yes, they'll say yes. Quite spontaneous people. Quite up for things, you know. Up for that new challenge. Up for that new thing, whatever it is. Up for saying yes, you know. So sometimes it is, like I said, when it's prominent. So this isn't prominent. The most prominent colours are the pink and the red. But when the blue is quite prominent, can be a thrill seeker, can be, you know, someone like that. But adventurous is definitely coming up here in some spiritual connection, because in the top we have some purple within the blue. Okay? So we have purple within the blue as well. So we have spiritual connection. This person is spiritually connected. And purple represents spiritual enlightenment, spiritual awareness. So this person definitely has some spiritual abilities or spiritual possibilities on their path. They are tuned in some sense to some degree. Even though it's not the most prominent colour, we're also seeing the colour that leaked a little bit here. Silver. Okay, silver in the aura. So if you have silver or gold, we're having spiritual protection, or a guide close. And I do feel, again, with this one, a spiritual guide, a guide close, but also I do feel connection with this protection, with this one. If we look at this one, if you can see, there's actually silvers pretty much all the way around. It pretty much envelops the aura. There's a little bit where the blue is dominant at the bottom, but it pretty much is all the way around the aura. Spiritual protection and a guide, a close spiritual, guide coming through there as well. So that's Kaylee's aura there. So it's very nice, and actually when we have murky or we have grey, it's nice to see how strong that is. So if quite weak, quite not dominant at all in Kaylee's aura there. Has she healed through these emotions? She had doubts. So Kaylee says, I had doubts in the past when we had little arguments and trauma from past relationships, but now I know I'm worthy. It was all because of the past. I've been emotional at times though. Yeah, and everyone's emotional at times, definitely. And being emotional sometimes doesn't create murky or grey in the aura, but it's when it's ongoing. So like you're saying, having trauma from the past, perhaps you've had doubts about this relationship because of something from the past, my emotions are about my health and worrying about not being able to get pregnant. Yes, so that will definitely come through in the murky red, because although it's not necessarily anger, if it's worry, it's physical based. So where the red is very the physical path, if you're worried about getting pregnant, it's a very physical thing, even though you're bringing a spirit into the world as well. Pregnancy in itself is a very physical thing, so it could be that. And health problems, yes, again, so I didn't mention that just then, but or did I? But Kaylee does have some health problems. So the murky red here, red being the physical side, the murkiness there could literally be health problems, you know, murkiness in the health. So that does make sense as well. Trying to cut my family off that you're trying to release, but it's hard, yes. So that could be, see, there's so many reasons that you're saying there that could create murky red. But it's interesting that you had doubts in the past, and now that grey is very, very small. It would be interesting if you did come back in 3 months' time, you probably would not have any of that grey. If you're still going through some health issues, might still be some murky red, but that grey and the pink would be released if you continued to heal from your past relationships into this one. Caleb said to me the other day that I've not released my mum and that I'm still grieving. Yes, still grieving. He said she's really happy and proud of me, that I can let her go and he will help me. Yes, so it is difficult, as you know, that I know that grieving is difficult, but it is very nice to eventually release as much as you can. I mean, you will never fully release her, she's going to be with you forever, but releasing the negative side of it, you know, releasing the worrying, releasing the stress, releasing the trauma from it, the anger from it, and just accepting that she will always be there for you and look after you. I always use Palo Santo too for protection, as I know I'm protected. Not sure who my spirit guide is. Yes, that could perhaps be your mum, but if you do come on the members channeling stream, we can see if you want to channel a message from spirit guide, we'll see who comes through as well. But yes, everything you're saying makes sense with the colours of the aura. Absolutely. And as well, you're having that spiritual connection as well coming through, because it's interesting that not more of your aura is purple. To be honest, I would have thought more was purple, but indigo as well is a very spiritually connected colour as well. So let's see who's next. We have, I'll just double check if Sherry has sent a picture, because haven't connected with Sherry in a little while. Let's see. Not on that one. No. I know Sherry's message before, so it's strange that nothing's coming up when I type Sherry in, actually. But that's okay. She's not here and I can't find her. Oh, wait, I know why. I'm not on the right Facebook page. Kaylee says, I'm working on a lot of things within myself, but I'm proud of myself because I've come so far. Yes. And it does suggest that, you know, when you see just a small bit of murkiness or a small bit of grey, it can suggest that it's being releasing and it's continuing to release. Not always. Sometimes it can be beginning, but when you're someone who's spiritual, you know, and you work on a lot of things, it does tend to suggest you're releasing as opposed to beginning to build. It wouldn't really make sense that you're beginning to build, because I know that you do spiritual work. I know that you attend spiritual events and spiritual things and everything like that. So just double check for Sherry on this Facebook and I'll let him on the right one, and then if not, we will move forward to Sarah's not here either. Sarah's not here. I know Sarah's been quite busy, so that's okay. Yes, so Sherry has sent the picture, which I thought she would, to be honest. So, oh no, that's a palm picture. Oh no. Okay, so we might not have Sherry. That's okay, because anyone who did not come today, can be on the next list for next time. There is a picture of Michelle, but I do believe, yes, that was from the last aura reading, so I don't want to do that one this time. And Sarah's not here. Don't believe Sarah has sent the picture recently. Let's see. Sarah's very busy. I don't want to disturb her though. So what I might do, let's just double check. Oh, Andrea, that's great. Since we're getting through the list so quick, yeah, we'll definitely get to you. Yeah, so I don't think Sarah sent a recent picture. Just double checking the people on the list first, that's all. Because if someone has sent a recent picture but they can't make it, I always make sure I timestamp for them. Try to be as nice as possible. No, Sarah hasn't sent a recent picture. I won't bother her because she's quite busy a lot of the time. So Lalima has though, I'm pretty sure. Lalima. So we'll do Lalima. Let me just double check Kidda because then we'll know where we stand with the list. So let's just check Kidda first. Yes, Kidda sent one. So we have Lalima, Abby, Kidda, then Andrea, and then Lollipop if Lollipop's still here. So we'll just put that in here. My shoulder clicked or something then. So we have Lalima, Abby, Kidda, Andrea, and then Lollipop if Lollipop is still here. Oh, Jasmine, have you not had an aura reading yet? No, that was literally my shoulder blade or something. Yeah, shoulder or something like that. You're welcome, Kaylee. Okay, so let's get on with Lalima now. Oh, I have to find the photo. Yay, we have a full one. We'll be moving on to our guy templates soon. I don't know why I print them, because we have like 1 or 2 guys that come in here, and that's it. So, Lalima. Wonderful. Let me focus on this picture. Yes, June or July, that's fine then, because I do suggest only getting another aura every 3 to 4 months, so that's fine. fine. So sorry. Yeah, that list was wrong. I'll delete that in a second. So sorry. Oh, and I think I have the timestamp for Lima actually. Could I remember that now? Right, so what's timestamp here at 1 hour 54? Okay. So Lolima. So here we have quite a nice colourful aura. I know they're all colourful, but we have a pink in the centre here. So again, empathy, a lot of love. So pink and green, of course, are both love energy, but pink tends to point more to romantic love. So this person is very likely to end up in a romantic relationship long term. It's very likely, especially because this is one of the most dominant colours. If we look, we can see, maybe you can see, pink, yellow and light blue are the most dominant colours here. So very likely to end up in a committed romantic relationship long term, but there is some essence of self-love and things like that as well in there. But it's very ever so slightly fades to orange before we move into this yellow here. Now orange has not come up very much in this in today's reading, I don't think. Did Sadia have a little bit of orange maybe? But orange is very someone who's very satisfied with their connections. So someone who's very satisfied in friendships, their family connections, perhaps even romantic relationships as well. Because orange is also in very upkeeping with the chakra meanings. Orange is very much about intimate relationships, intimate connections, and creativity as well. So this person might have a little bit of a creative spark with the orange ever so slightly coming through. But this person also is going to be satisfied with their relationships, at least that this long-lasting romantic relationship perhaps, because it's just enveloped by this orange here. So the nice pink colour fades to orange, and then we have the other dominant colour here, which is the yellow. So yellow, high intellect, someone who maybe someone who's learning, could be in study, training in a job, someone who's just learning in life. So there can often be just life lessons as well coming in for this person. And also connection to the inner child when this colour is quite prominent. There can be a positive connection to the inner child. It can be a high level of self-confidence, inner peace. Could be, and again, someone who is, it's a possibility that this person has opportunity for spiritual awakening. So this person will have an opportunity for spiritual awakening at some point in their life when they have a lot of yellow. And then we move into the blue. Now, it's the first time we've really seen this today, the more light blue. I do feel some people have kind of lightish blues within their indigos, but this is a very, very dominantly pale, light blue, not indigo. So this very dominant, because it's one of the dominant colours, this light blue, this is very much about someone who's calm, has a relaxed, calm state. They will stand to protect people they care about, so they may rarely value. So again, we're seeing, like the orange, a lot of value in the people that they care about, rarely put that all into their relationships and connections, and they would stand up for and even fight for the people that they love, even though predominantly it's a very calming energy. If someone they loves needs it, they might jump into a little bit of a fight there. But it's very nice because they're very protective of friends and family. They can be very protective. They can be peaceful, and people find it easy to confide in these people. So you might find with a Lilima, could be that people say, oh, I've never told anyone this before, but I really feel like I trust you, Could be one of those people. I've never told anyone this before, but, one of those people who everyone wants to confide in. Everyone feels trustworthy. Everyone feels that they trust this person. Everyone feels that they can tell this person. And this person's able to express themselves very calmly as well. So it's very indicative that this person can express themselves in a very calm manner. Maybe even if they're expressing something they're passionate about, they might still be quite calm, There's purple in the aura at the top here. So it's not a dominant colour at all, but it is coming in at the top, as we've seen with a few of you. And this suggests spiritual awareness, the opportunity for spiritual awakening again, like the yellow suggests. Also, there's someone who can see the bigger picture, someone who's not really attached to their ego, someone who's, they can step back, they can see the bigger picture, which is common with calm people. Calm people tend to want to be the mediator, they want to see the bigger picture. This person might be quite philosophical, especially when it comes with yellow. So yellow people who like to learn things, and so this might be like a philosophical person, deep thinker, not necessarily an overthinker, but a deep thinker. And then we see the whole of this aura is enveloped in silver, so that's very, very nice. A big silver ring, or of course, remember the auras are actually 3D, they go all the way around, so it's actually really a silver layer. Even though I'm saying a silver ring, it's a layer of silver. It is spiritual protection. So this is spiritual protection. Maybe a guide. There may be a guide close, an angel guide or something. But what I feel from this silver around Lilima is spiritual protection. So of course I'm reading the aura, but I do say what I feel with the energies as well. So some of you, I felt guides very close. With Lilima, I feel very strong spiritual protection. Possibly a guide. We all have angel guides, but some are closer than others. And where she has this ability, this spiritual ability, she might be able to connect with those guides, but she does definitely have spiritual protection around her. So that was the Lilima there. So now we move on to Abby, who I don't know if is still with us. Abby, if you are still here, do let me know, because if not, I will be timestamping for Abby here, who has sent email picture by email. I remember. Ooh. Yeah, after my shoulders clicking, I'm kind of like, hopefully I can make it through. Everybody else, hopefully I can make it through. Gosh, it's been 2 hours already. Yesterday really went a lot quicker. I'm not sure why. I know it started a little bit late, but not that late. Okay, so we have Abby now. So let's have a little look. Abby sent a picture here. So, okay. So let's just get connected. You should do some things to show light green rather than just saying it's light green, I think. Get some better pens, maybe? You know, it's interesting because metallic colours in the aura are actually not very common. But when you have, you know, of course, when I say that, like, I talk to people who do aura photographs, things like that. And that tends to be more like a kind of, it's just an event, people just get kind of aura photographs done. But I think when, you know, people are kind of come to me out of anyone else they could go to online, it does tend to be people who are actually very spiritually inclined, whereas aura photographs an event, you know, people just go, oh, don't know if I'll believe in it, but I'll just give it a go, kind of thing. So I suppose a lot of metallic people, metallic in the aura. Oh, Abby's here. Okay, great. Okay, I was going to timestamp them, but that's fine if you're here. We'll go right into it. So here we have Abby's aura. Another one with some very clear dominant colours. So some of you are the very, very rainbow kind of auras, whereas this one is has a very dominant colour. So we have green as very dominant, indigo was very dominant, and then they're the most dominant colours. We have this red here, but it also has some pink in it. So we'll talk about them. So here we have the green. So the green, of course, is that it's the unconditional kind of love. So we have that very strong love, that very, you know, it's very kind of, it can have self-love, it can have animals, plants, friends, family, you know, it's a love of everything. It can even be a love of certain things, certain experiences, certain, you know, it's a very broad, compassionate, but very compassionate, very empathetic. It did begin as more of a pale light green and come into the more bright green towards the corners, the edges, and that shows the more pale green is kind of that kind of colour that healers have. So these people can be, they could be Reiki healers, they could do sound healing, they could be much more physical, they could be doctors, they could be nurses, they could be therapists. It could be less of a job role, and it could be I help my friends, you know, I talk through things with people, I'm that person everyone kind of comes to with their problems, a healer in some way, whether it's through spoken or whether it's through hands-on. There's definitely a possibility, opportunity to be a healer in some way, even if it's kind of like a therapist for my friends and family, you know. There's a very approachable energy in this kind of pale green. And then we have the more bright green, so it's that unconditional love I was talking about, love for everything, love for plants, animals, friends, family, very broad, unconditional love. Now, when we have the green in the aura, and we do have some pink in the aura, but when it's predominantly green, sometimes it does still point to romantic love, but what it suggests is that we will end up with someone who complements us very well. So someone who complements us very well. So it's getting into that kind of, it's probably not going to be a twin flame relationship. It's probably going to be more of a relaxed soulmate kind of energy than a twin flame relationship. Then we have the blue. It's more indigo than blue. So you have the indigo. This could be a spontaneous person or someone who's up for new things. You know, you might not seek them out. This colour does become prominent in thrill seekers and things like that, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you're seeking experiences out. You're not booking holidays all the time or something like that. Or you might have wanderlust, you might feel like a bit of a starseed, but you will be someone who's quite adventurous. You will be someone who likes to try new things. Not likely to be someone who always goes to the same restaurants and always orders the same thing. Although you might be, you know, food preference is food preference, but they're adventurous in some way. It could be adventurous in holidays, could be adventurous, like traveling kind of thing. Could be adventurous in just trying new things, trying new activities and things like that. Could be, like I said, a food thing. Always want to try the new foods, the new restaurants, new things like that. But quite an adventurous or spontaneous kind of energy. Someone who is, there's a spiritual possibility here. So there's a spiritual insight, there is opportunities for spiritual growth, spiritual awareness, all of that. And indigo is quite a spiritual colour. It is someone who might be kind of connected to some inner wisdom, you know, an old soul. When we see blue, indigo, it's very predominant, a dominant colour. Can be an old soul. So again, like I said, a starseed kind of energy. Can be a old soul, someone who's spiritually connected. And we'll get to that with the silver at the bottom here. But as we move out, we have pink and red kind of bleeding into one another here. So pink is the intimate connection, that intimate relationship, and that is when it's at the bottom here. So I do always try to think about where is this colour as well. Now the pink, actually you might not be able to see fully, but the pink does actually do a full layer around the aura and become thicker here at the feet. Is this person being guided on a love path? Have they been guided to their love connection, their romantic connection? Or are they being guided to their romantic love connection? because it's in this feet area where I like to kind of see in which area it is. Like we have some blue in the head area and green in the head area. Does she think a lot about other people, about like, you know, she's very compassionate. Does she think a lot about people less fortunate? Is she a very charitable person who has that on her mind a lot? Blue there. Does she think a lot about her wanderlust? Does she think a lot about holidays? Does she think a lot about her spiritual life, her spiritual abilities? And then we're seeing the pink. Is she being guided to this love path, on this love path? And then yes, so the pink is very similar to the green in that empathy, that love energy, but it's romantic connection. And then we have the red as well. And bear in mind, this is a nice bright red, not having any stagnant red here in Abby's aura. So this suggests she could have a strong connection to her life goals, her life mission. She could have a nice balance of that kind of physical, you know, she could be grounded, but she could also be someone who enjoys material abundance, indulging in the physical pleasures of life. So going back to trying new foods, you know, does she really like to indulge in the pleasures of physical life? And that's common with star seeds as well, because they're kind of like, ooh, what's earth like? Ooh, the material pleasures of earth are interesting, you know. So that can come in with the red energy. And then also we have a little bit, the red actually does envelop again, it has a layer around like the pink did. A little bit of warrior spirit energy. So it's not huge. It's not like she's probably not in her defensive mode all the time, but there is some warrior spirit energy there, enjoying the physical sides of life, being a bit grounded. Perhaps sometimes she can be quite practical, you know, where we have that more the spiritual in the blue, where she might be a bit up in the clouds, you know. Then she balances this with this groundedness, this more practical side that she has. But then we also see, interestingly, it doesn't envelop the whole aura, but we do have metallic. Like I said, a lot of you guys having metallic auras there. There is some silver in this aura. Spiritual protection and a guide with her angelic protection around her. So that's very, very nice aura. Very nice, interesting aura there for Abby. I did just see Pooja in the chat. Abby, I'm always in my head, I think too much sometimes. Yeah, and that can be true with the blue. People with a lot of blue in their aura can be like that. So perhaps that red energy is there to ground you a little bit, you know, because the red's not very prominent and the blue's very prominent. So are you in your head too much and that red's trying to ground you a little bit? But you have that spiritual protection, so that's very nice. Pooja says, I'm here now. Pooja, you were second. I actually didn't timestamp you, so I'm very sorry. But if you go, it's probably going to be around... I can't check myself right now. Or can I? Let me just see if I can. You're second anyway after Shweta. Let's see which one that is. Oh, that's Sadia there. So yeah, I can't rewind back far enough. But you're welcome, Abby. But Pooja, you're second. You were second red for. So yeah, it'll be quite you know, near the beginning. I can't rewind back far enough on mine for some reason. Didn't think I would be able to be honest. Don't know why. I don't know why I can't. You should be able to. Andrea, thank you. I'm still going in order of the list, as I said. But thank you very much. Let's see. Okay. So we have... Please like if you haven't liked already, guys. So we have now... Kida. So Kida is the last person on the list. Let's go. Kida, then China Moon, then Andrea. So because I did send a picture very recently. So onto our mail templates now. Sorry guys, but anyone from now on is having a mail template. I don't know why I print so many mails out. They're timestamp for Kidda. She sent a picture very recently, but has been through a lot lately, so you cannot always expect her to remember which stream she's on and to attend. So 2 hours and 17 minutes. Let's go ahead and do Kidda's one, and then we can get to China Moon and Andrea and Lollipop and Jasmine. Okay. Lollipop, I think that they are all going to be today. I think they're all going to be today. We've got 4 left after this, so we should be able to do them all today. Yes. That should be fine. You're welcome. Oh, you're welcome, Pooja. I'm glad. Yes, for people who are new, by the way, Andrea and Lollipop, please do check out the upcoming streams and see if you would like to be on any. Yeah, we do a lot of readings and always happy to take requests as well here. Do tend to do quite a lot. Okay, so we have Kidda here. I have timestamped this as well. So we have quite a lot of things going on. So we have in the center, we have the pink energy. So like a lot of you guys, compassion, love energy. This pink, like I said, pink is much more linked to intimate connections, intimate relationships and all of that. Would suggest that she is going to end up with in a long-term committed relationship. That's how, you know, how things are going to end for her. A long-term committed relationship with someone you're probably, you know, your long-term partner basically. But there's a lot of grey energy, around this pink. So self-doubt, lack of self-esteem, perhaps not feeling worthy of love, something like that. Like I said, grey is a very emotional colour. Depressed, low energy, low mood, low self-esteem, something like sadness, self-doubt. So this person is very likely not feeling worthy of the romantic love that they are seeking. And then we move on to the green around. Again, the love energy colour. So pink and green, both very love energy colours, but the green is more the unconditional love. So this person does have unconditional love, which extends to friends, family, plants and animals and things like that. Whereas there is self-love a lot of the time in pink, and there is more of that compassion, empathy in pink, but with all this grey energy, we may not be seeing that. There may be low self-esteem. But with the green, much more unconditional love. And then we have a little bit of indigo, at the bottom here, kind of, fading out from the green, bit of indigo. So a spontaneous person, someone who likes to try new things, is up for new things, someone who might be seeking a new adventure, okay? Someone who might be seeking a new adventure, especially with this blue fading out to red, the very physical colour. Is this person not just seeking a new spiritual, endeavour? Because blue, this indigo, is a very spiritual colour. It does suggest spiritual connectedness, spiritual ability, but with it being quite small and also very connected to this red, is this person seeking something new in their life? Is there some boredom as well there? Seeking something new in life, because it's spontaneity, adventurous energy, surrounded by red. So again, we have red at the top as well, but a lot of red at the bottom at the feet. So this is bright red. A lot of people think that red in aura is bad, but only if it is murky red, which we do have a little bit of murky red at the top, which we'll talk about, but there's a lot of bright red in the aura. So there's that warrior spirit energy, resilience, strength, someone who might have life goals, like be somewhat on the path of their life goals, their life missions, or have very clear vision of what their life goals and their life missions are. Even if they don't have a clear path of getting to them yet, they might be very set on getting them. Grounded a lot of the time. Someone who's lively, passionate as well. And like I said, resilient. But they can also be quite realistic, these people, which can sometimes be why there's some blue coming through, because there's some boredom. Quite realistic. You might be stuck in a kind of, boring kind of work cycle, kind of loop, working at some place for too long or something, or working somewhere that's quite not fulfilling in some way. But there's a lot of resilience, strong energy, warrior spirit energy, but there's a little bit of murky red as well. And the murky red suggests unhealed emotion. That's lower emotion. So it's kind of like anger a lot of the time, resentment, regrets and things like that. A bit of murky red up there. So unhealed emotion, which may need to be worked through. Like I said with Kaylee's, when it's quite small like this, it's quite a thin layer, doesn't even reach all the way around, could suggest she's already working on it. She's already releasing that. She's already forgiving herself or forgiving those people, or, releasing that anger in a healthy way, whatever it is. She could already be doing that because it is quite small. This is probably the most emotional energy we've seen in anyone on the stream. But we do see that a lot of you guys, when you do have murky energy or you do have the emotional energy, does tend to be quite small. Even with Kidda here, where there's quite a lot of emotional energy, there's still very vibrant pink in the middle that isn't touched by the emotional energy. And then we see just around as well, it's more like the one-sided kind of, but spiritual protection and a guide with her. So I do feel the guide with her as well. Do feel there's an angel with Kidda. I believe that everyone has angel guides, but a close angel, okay? So when they're close, that could be that they're particularly looking over you at this time for a specific reason. Could be that they want to connect with you. Could be that they're specifically observing this moment for some reason. You know, when they're close, it does suggest there's a reason for that. So that was Kidda's. And I've timestamped that for her as well, and she can have that picture as well. So great. So now we are up to the list beyond the list. So now we have China Moon, who did send a picture very recently. So we'll get that up now. China Moon can have a nice mail template. Always nice. Okay, China Moon, then Andrea, then Lollipop, then Jasmine. So we are getting through them. So let's just check the picture China Moon sent. And then should be, oh, I think she sent it on Facebook. No, she sent it on email. Yes, I have it. Okay. I'll just timestamp this just in case she's gone. Let's just focus on this picture. Okay, so this one's actually very interesting. I'm very interested in this one, and I'll talk about why. So, there we have China Moon's aura, if you can see it. Again, very nice, bright, nice aura here. So you have the love energy there in the centre. It is not our most dominant colour, but it's very prominent, very bright, pink energy. empathy, love energy, which can extend to friends, family, animals, plants, and all of that. But it's the more romantic love. So, like I said, green is much more unconditional, much more holistic, and the pink is often more romantic connection. So this person might end up with their romantic partner that is a long-term lasting partnership, you know. Their romantic relationship might last very, very long time, be very fulfilling and very, you know, they're very, very like resonating with their love path basically. But I do feel empathy with this one. Like, she's an empath. She has, you know, she's very empathetic. But we also have, what's very interesting is the pink in the very centre is surrounded by a layer of gold there. So actually it's interesting because the gold in a lot of you guys' pictures is very kind of, it's external. The gold in a lot of the pictures, it's all surrounding the outside, which would suggest, you know, that spiritual protection, the guides and all of that. So it's very nice to see it internally, you know, in the more closer to the body part of the aura basically, which suggests that China Moon probably has a lifetime guide, higher spiritual protection than the average person, you know. You know, there could be very strong spiritual protection that's been going on for a long time. There could be a very close guide that rarely looks out for her. I feel like she probably has a very close guide that perhaps even, you know, has communicated with her before. Perhaps even she has, you know, had some kind of contact with this guy before as well, because this guy feels very, very close, very, very close. Then we have the yellow energy here, which again, it can be when it's a dominant colour, like it is here. It can mean that she's very connected with her inner child. She could have done some inner child healing in her life. Could have nurtured that inner child. Intelligent energy, someone who might be, this is a dominant colour, so it could be that she's on a course, she's in learning, you know, she's in some kind of education, or could just be generally life lessons, learning life lessons. But it's very nice, very dominant yellow colour. So intelligence, connection to inner child, sometimes balanced, harmonious as well. They can be very balanced people. So, you know, yeah, very balanced people, not leaning too much one way. Very kind of central, nice, balanced mediators sometimes and things like that. Especially when we're enveloped here by the pale blue. The pale blue, these are definitely mediator people who have a lot of pale blue in the aura, because they're calming. They're very calming. They probably like meditation. They probably, you know, a lot of people say, I don't know how to meditate, or I can't meditate. These people probably can meditate and probably do when they have a lot of that light blue in the aura. Calm, again, stands to protect people they care about. Probably calm, other than at moments when someone they care about is being, you know, in harm's way. Probably find that they might fight a little bit in that scenario. Could be very protective of people that they love. And also, they can probably express themselves in a healthy and positive way, you know. So there's positive self-expression, positive communication, and probably a support system for friends and family as well. Support system for those, you know, who they care about. And then we move out, and there's a lot of purple in this aura. Haven't seen this much purple in anyone else's aura yet, I don't think. Again, spiritual connection, spiritual potential, spiritual awareness, probably going to have a lot of like spiritual awakenings, enlightenments, things like that. They could be, they can inspire other people. So when we see as well that this person's probably quite intelligent, they're probably quite a mediator, probably quite relaxed. They can inspire people as well. They probably have inspired some people in their lives, probably set an example for some people. That also, they are, they can see the bigger picture. So they can a lot of the time see the bigger picture. They, something bad happens to them. They're the kind of person that says, well, there's probably something negative on my path that I'm being, there's probably a reason. Everything happens for a reason. These kind of people will be very, especially with the calming energy. If something negative happens, she's probably thinking there's a bigger meaning for this. There's a bigger reason for this other than just me not making, my train on time or something like that. So yeah, very nice aura, very close spiritual protection and guide here, which is very nice to see. So we did really find this one very interesting. And that was China Moon. So I'll send her the timestamp as well. And then we're getting up now to Andrea. So I hope Andrea's still here. Andrea, if you are still here, please let us know. Or I can make a timestamp if you are not. So we'll just give her a moment to let us know if she's here. Just write her name on here. And just write her name on here and give her a moment to respond if she is here. But we're getting through them now. So we have Andrea, who's sent by Facebook. And then after that we have, so Andrea, Lollipop, and then Jasmine. Thank you, Andrea. There we go. Oh no, wrong person there. There we go. Perhaps this is it. Yes, there we go. Oh, China Moon says, thank you. I had an aura photo done in the past and there was an orb above my head. I actually have I'm going to show where my green screen starts here on the video. But I do have my aura photos from a very long time ago. This was before I became, a spiritual person, a spiritual healer, or whatever you would call me. You can see there was a lot of purple, some pink, and some blue. And I think it's interesting. I think aura photos don't show quite as many colours as a lot of people have, but they definitely show the most dominant colours. And I was clearly supposed to be on a more spiritual path than I was then. I was clearly supposed to be doing something spiritual with my life because the purple is so dominant. I think it's very interesting when you look back at it. You can't really see it very clearly, but there's purple, blue, pink, and a bit of white in there as well. So yeah, I suppose maybe they do show all the colours, but when I started doing aura readings, I thought, do the pictures pick up every single colour? Because a lot of you guys have a lot of different colours going on. Okay, so Andrea, we're doing Andrea now. Although I do agree that most people have 2 to 3 dominant colours, which I definitely believe the aura photograph captures. And the orb above your head, sorry, just to touch on that, the orb above your head could have been the guide, your guide. Well, thank you very much. Having a bit of a bad hair day, but thank you very much. It's very kind. It's very sweet. Thank you, Leon. Okay, so here we have Andrea. This is a very nice one. So we have there, we see the dominant colours are green, red and purple. So the green is interesting because the green is very big, and like I've been saying, I don't have a light green, but the green was kind of more bright in the middle and faded out to more light towards the edges, where it then goes a little bit yellow. There's a little bit of yellowness there. So the bright green is very indicative of all of that, empathy, unconditional love for plants, animals, friends, family, everything, like an all-encompassing kind of love. Could be some positive self-love in there as well, because we're seeing that there's not really any murkiness going on. It's very kind of nice kind of green in the aura there. We see a few little dashes of pink within the aura. A few little dashes of pink. Now this could suggest that there's a little bit more romantic energy in some areas. There's some, it could be that she's on the love path, or it could be that she has she's recently brought in a love, or it could be something like just simply that there's that romantic love's just taking up a little bit of space in the aura, because green's very unconditional love, and sometimes there's just little glimmers of pink because that romantic love's so strong, or something like that. So there is some little glimmers of pink. There's some glimmers of the more romantic, intimate kind of love coming through in that aura there. But when it's very small, you do have to think about these things. So is it because there has been... Is it because she's just bringing in this romantic partner, Are they not quite there yet? Or is it just simply because there's some little spaces for that romantic connection there within this big empathetic kind of love for everything kind of centre, This person is an empath, very heart-centred, and like I said, there is some more pale green towards the edges as we come out to a little bit of yellow surrounding. And the pale green is often found in healer energy. So again, is this someone who people confide in? Is this someone who has healing hands? Is this someone who might be a doctor or a nurse? Or is this someone who might be a spiritual healer? Is this someone who, people feel they can talk to? Close friends and family feel, I can really talk to you, I can really confide in you, you're a trustworthy person. Then little bit of yellow coming around, not quite reaching all the way around, not quite a sphere of yellow, but some yellow at the bottom, suggesting some learning experiences, some perhaps some intellect, perhaps a little bit of connection with the inner child, maybe suggesting, can you connect more with the inner child? Maybe suggesting that there's some more path of learning on your path, because sometimes, like I said, when people are in college or they're in like a course, they tend to have a lot of yellow. So if you read for someone, you look at the aura of someone who's in a course, who's studying, they might have a lot of yellow in their aura. Then when they finish and they get a job, the aura could change quite a bit because they're not in that study anymore. They're not in that study energy, that study mode. So is this because she's not studying quite a lot anymore and it's kind of like faded out a little bit? Or is this because there's a bit more training coming onto the path? You know, sometimes we're in a job, but there's a bit of training coming up. We're training a bit to get to that next level. So, you know, it's always interesting to see why the smaller colours might just be in there, just a glimmer of them. Those smaller colours that I don't feel aura photograph always picks up. So would an aura photograph pick up those little bits of pink? Would it pick up that little ring of yellow? Maybe not, maybe it would. Then we have well, let's look at the red first. So we have this red here. Now this is someone who is a warrior spirit. This is someone who is a kind of, they might be on a physical path. So there could be someone who's working towards their physical goals. Could be trying to get a specific job that they need. Could be someone who enjoys kind of indulging in the physical things as well, which we'll talk about, quite balanced with the spiritual energy. So is this person kind of on this material path, you know, balanced, grounded into the material path, whilst also being a bit spiritual, a bit more in the higher energies, higher realms as well? So this person's strong, resilient, they have a warrior energy and a warrior spirit. But there's also this purple. So Andrea is spiritually connected, she has spiritual awareness, she could have gone through a bit of a spiritual awakening, she could be going through a spiritual awakening, she could see the bigger picture. She could be someone who, you know, she's not too connected with her ego. She isn't too bothered about what people think, even though she's a lot in the physical realm a lot. Doesn't mean she cares about what other people think. She could be, you know, someone who, yeah, like I said, sees the bigger picture. She could be philosophical thinker. She could be into psychology. She could be a deep thinker. You know, she's a deep thinker. She thinks, not necessarily an overthinker, but a deep thinker. So these people don't always overthink. Sometimes they do. There can be downsides to, you know, the different colours. But she's spiritual, and she might be a deep thinker, and she might have some spiritual gifts, there's something spiritual on her path, something spiritual. It's not the most prominent colour, but when we have the healer energy and the spiritual energy, is there some calling to align this physical path more with the spiritual? There could be. Then she also has the spiritual protection that we see. And I feel she has a bit of gold around here. I feel that she does have a close guide with her, because it's interesting. She does have a close guide with her. I almost see little bits of murkiness in this red, but it wasn't quite enough to... I'm going to draw it on just in case, because I don't know if she's here now, even though she was here just a second ago. But there's almost like a little tiny flecks of murkiness within the red. And this can suggest, like I said, unhealed kind of emotions, harbouring of some anger or some negative emotion, not quite releasing some negative emotion. But she has the spiritual protection, and she has a guide close. So is she being helped through something? You know, is she... Because when you see it, very small little flickers of it, sometimes I think it's just releasing or just coming in. So like what I was saying with the love path, sometimes there's slight little bits of pink because it's just coming in, it's just about coming in. Sometimes there's slight little flecks of murkiness because they're being released. Maybe she is working on releasing this emotion or whatever this is, and maybe it is releasing, and that's why there's only a few little flickers. But very spiritually connected person and very spiritually protected person, and I do feel a guide close with this one. So like I said, sometimes I feel it's just spiritual protection. I do feel a guide close with Andrea here. So very interesting aura, and barely any murkiness. Like I said, there was some flecks of murky red there, but overall, it's quite a nice aura. It would be nice to have, when we see the metallic around, so we see the metallic colour, it would be nice for it to come all the way around. It would be nice to have a gold encompassing the whole aura. That would really be spiritual protection, you know. That would really be very nice to see. But the guide's close, the guide is there, and the spiritual potential is there. So, still very nice, still very positive, still very good. So that was Andrea. And Andrea says, I've been trying to tap into my spiritual gifts better. Could it be my father who passed away? Yes, it could. It certainly could. Having someone very close in the spiritual realm, not always an angel. I didn't feel angelic with you. I'm not saying that your father isn't angelic, but deceased loved ones do come through differently than angels. So that's very, very interesting. It very well could be. And trying to tap into your spiritual gifts better is interesting. You definitely do have the potential and ability to do that, so definitely keep going with that. Okay, so now we have next, who's next? My list. Lollipop. We have Lollipop next, and then Jasmine. Okay, let's go ahead with Lollipop. Okay, so actually using a male template for a male. Very good. So I'm going to put Lollipop so I remember who the YouTube person was, but I'll also put a Facebook name as well. Just to be sure, because you are new. Okay, so let's look at this picture. Let's see what we get. Yes, thank you for waiting. Okay, so I think I'm done here. So this is Lollipop here. Okay, so let's begin. So the most prominent colour we have in this aura, I think the closer I hold it, the better it is. So the most prominent colour we have in this aura is yellow, but we do have some kind of spaced out pink and red and some light blue. So let's go over that. So the yellow is very, very prominent, and this suggests someone who, like I said, this is a very learning kind of energy, studying, learning, can be in education, can be in life. Someone who has a lot of life lessons to learn. Perhaps they've came, to this life for a purpose, to learn specific things. Maybe they're just an education and more physical type of learning. But yellow is very prominent, which does also suggest some connection with the inner child as well. So that's very nice as well. When yellow is dominant, connection with the inner child. And again, like I've been saying with the yellow, a lot of spiritual ability. So it's people with a dominant yellow in the aura. It suggests that they're very likely to have a spiritual awakening, very likely to have spiritual abilities, but it's like they're almost not there yet. Okay, so it's kind of like there's this potential. So let's say I was to do another aura reading for you in about 3 months' time. I usually say 3 to 4 months is the minimum. You should wait before another one. You should, any more than that, it's not, once a month for aura reading is just not worth it, because doesn't change very often. But let's just say that you did come for another reading, and let's just say it was 4 months, and you had a spiritual awakening. Then all of a sudden we'll probably see more purple in the aura, but at the moment it's potential. It's this potential to have the spiritual awakening it's more prominent, that's potential, as opposed to you don't have a specific guide really close to you yet, or you're not having vast spiritual abilities. It's not to say you don't have spiritual abilities. I'm not saying that you don't, but I'm just saying that there's a lot of potential for spiritual growth here with this colour. But connection to inner child, intellect, high intelligence a lot of the time. People with a lot of yellow in the aura can be very intelligent people. They can be people who learn easily, learn quickly, but they like to learn, or learning is a big part of their path. So it might not necessarily be that you like to learn, but you might have specific physical goals that require you to do a lot of learning. So yes, learning, intellect, inner child connection, and spiritual abilities or spiritual potential we see here. And then we see some blue that's very unevenly spread out here, this pale blue, and this suggests that calm energy. So it's that pale blue. Might be someone who meditates easily or likes to meditate. Very calming, gentle people. So they can be mediators sometimes because they're quite gentle. Can sometimes be a bit introverted. We see this aura is very close to the body. If we see some of the other ones are a little bit more expanded, this one's very close. And sometimes a very close aura shows a more introverted person. Not always, but sometimes it does. And when people are quite calm and relaxed, they can also sometimes be people that keep to themselves a lot. People who are very big and energetic can be very out there and trying to get everyone else involved, whereas more calm people can sometimes be more introverted and quite calm. Might have a close friend circle or something like that. But it's not to say that they can't make friends, because they are very mediator, very understanding of everyone kind of person, So it's similar to purple, where we say they see the bigger picture. They don't necessarily see the bigger picture, but they understand. They're very understanding, very calming, very understanding. Could be quite good with people. because people find it easy to confide in these people. They might have friends and family that are very close, and they're probably not a fighter because they have this calming energy, but if someone was to be threatening their friends and family, they may find themselves being a bit of a fighter, maybe even unexpectedly to themselves. But now we see, well, let's go over the red first, actually. We have the red. So we do have a bit of red here at the bottom. Nice bright red. So it's the good red. It's not the bad red to have in the aura. But this is all about warrior energy, warrior spirit, resilient, strong, resilient. So it's very good when it's paired with this learning, you know. If someone who has to go through a lot of learning, whether it's life lessons or education, being strong and resilient is always a good idea, a good thing. This person can be someone, now bear in mind this isn't the dominant colour, so this might not resonate very strongly, but they can be someone who does like to indulge in physical things. So perhaps because it's only a very small bit of the aura, this could just be an occasional thing. Occasionally likes to overindulge in physical things. Can be quite grounded, and can be, yes, like I said, warrior spirit, strong, resilient, and things like that. Someone who's very likely to overcome challenges if they're faced with challenges. Very likely to overcome them. And then let's go into this pink that's quite dotted around. We have pink here. We have pink, you can see it all. We have pink up here. We have pink here. And we also have pink where the red fades a little bit to pink at the bottom there. So pink, pink, and pink. So pink is empathetic, you know, someone, there might be self-love as well. So there might be self-love, someone who's empathetic, someone who's very loving, generous, kind, gentle. They can be very generous, pink aura people. Kind and generous. And pink does, although pink can be, you know, loving of friends, family, plants and animals, the pink aura usually indicates more a romantic love. So this could be someone who's very in a romantic relationship, or someone who's on the path to seeking a romantic relationship. When we see here the pink by the feet, are you being guided on to that path to the romantic connection? Is this romantic connection just coming in because it's just a little bit of pink here coming in? Interesting. The most interesting to point out about this pink energy is the murkiness. There's some murkiness just at the edge of the aura there, and there's some grey in this part, which is near the head. So the rest of the aura is very clear. There's no murkiness, there's no grey in any other part of the aura, but grey here could suggest some low self-esteem. So if you're in a relationship at the moment, it could mean that you have had thoughts of not being worthy of that person, maybe feeling a little bit inferior to that person. There could just be doubts. There could be like, oh no, is this relationship going to last forever? I really hope it does. Or doubts about that person. Perhaps you don't feel that that person's right for you. You clearly do have a lot of romantic love energy to give. So is that person right for you? Is there some doubt going on there? So self-doubt or on a larger scale doubts, you know, about that person. But there could be self-doubt. There could be, am I worth this? Am I worthy? Things like that. So it could be, am I worthy of this person? It could be, am I worthy of being in a relationship? It could be doubting of that person. It could be doubting that the right relationship's going to come. Sometimes when we've had a lot of relationships in our life, we do get this. We get a bit of doubt. Is that right relationship going to come? You know? Then the murkiness, let's go over that, because grey energy is more emotional energy. So it's something that you can release. Something that, you know, even if we did only do the reading in 1 to 2 months, you know, another reading, this could be released. It's something that you can probably release if you kind of focus on it, I guess, if you tell yourself you are worth it or something like that, or that person shows you, you know, that they're I don't know, not going to leave or something, you know. Sometimes if it's doubt energy, it could be that this person makes a gesture that shows you they're not going to leave and you feel more relaxed. But the murky pink, so there's sometimes naivety, sometimes unrealistic ideas, something like that. So it could be that you've been hurt in love before, perhaps you've been naive in love before, and this is blocking you a little bit because this is very external to the aura. So if this is love that's coming in and you're not in this relationship at the moment, you could be blocking it a little bit from coming in because you have this, whatever it is. If this doubt is because you've been hurt in the past, has this made you a bit naive or a bit unrealistic? You know, has it made you resentful or something? Are you harbouring some emotion there, some negative emotions around love and around romantic connections? Because sometimes murkiness is harbouring emotions, but murky pink can sometimes be immature, unrealistic, or naive. Now this is very, very small, so I wouldn't say that's a personality trait of yours. I wouldn't say that you're always naive, always unrealistic, always immature, but there could have been a moment in your life or a period of your life where you were, and perhaps that is blocking you a little bit, because especially if you are bringing in this romantic partnership and you're not in it yet, this could be a bit of a block. This emotional energy and this murkiness could be blocking you a little bit, so just to think about that. But apart from that, in the top, the murkiness of the top there, this is a very nice aura, very nice colours going on. Yellow being dominant is very nice. Pale blue is very nice. We haven't seen that a lot lately in these aura readings. Red, very nice, strong, resilient, the nice red to have. A lot of it's very common that people think red's a bad colour to have in the aura, but only if it's murky is it bad. Only if it's, you know, that the murky dark colour. And then just probably a little bit of work to do in that head area. Just a little bit of work to do on. It could just be emotional, some emotions to release, a little bit of healing to do maybe. But it is small. It's a small section, and there's some clear pink, so that's good. But just that little bit of whatever that is for you might just need a little bit of work. But yes, I hope you enjoyed that. Welcome. I hope to see you again. I hope to see you and Andrea again on some streams soon. Now we'll just do Jasmine and then we'll be done. So really thank you guys, everyone who joined. A great big thank you to all of you guys that joined and to our new subscribers. Really hope you do come back for some more readings. But let's do Jasmine now. Let's just take a look at this picture. Jasmine here. You're welcome, Jasmine. I'm really sorry, Zona. It's not questions today, it's aura reading. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. But the next crystal ball stream should be soon. If you just check the upcoming streams, should be pretty soon, I hope. Okay, and this is Jasmine's. Okay. There we are. So we'll begin the middle and back out. So we do have a lot of green in the middle. So again, the empath colour, loving of all things, you know, not just that romantic love, but plants, animals. Sorry, my arm's hurting a little bit ever since I click my shoulder. Love of plants, animals, empath, and things like that. Love that can really expand, you know, extend to anything, you know, people that you don't know, not just your inner circle, but this great love. With again some little flecks of pink in there, which we saw in someone else's reading. I can't remember now. But little flecks of pink within the green. So are you bringing in this romantic partner, or is it just this romantic partnership's growing a little bit, you know, the energy's growing a little bit? Because it's kind of saying, yes, she's an empath, yes, she has these you know, almost like this healer energy as well, because like I said, I don't have light green, but there is some light green towards the edges of here. Does she have some healing energy as well, but also there is room for this more romantic love, this more direct romantic love, because although there can be romantic love in just green, there can be pink is much more indicative of that. So when we see little flecks of pink, it's almost like the aura is saying, yes, romantic love, you know. So are you just bringing this in, or is it growing a little bit? Then we have some flecks of pink had a bit of grey around them and on them, which is interesting because it's very, very small, okay, so there's not a lot of grey, so it's not like anything to worry about. And like I said, grey is more an emotional colour anyway. So when we say the aura changes through spiritual and emotional changes, and some physical changes can change your aura as well, but tends to be spiritual and emotional changes. And grey tends to be more emotional, more of a doubting, hesitant, self-doubt kind of energy. So it's not like black or brown. It's not saying that having black and brown in the aura can sometimes be something a bit negative, like an attachment or something like that. But we're not seeing that here. We're seeing a bit of grey. So a bit of grey, which is some self-doubt or doubt about the situation. If this is the romance coming in, are you doubting it? Are you telling yourself, again, like we were saying with Lollipop, are you telling yourself, Elizabeth, that you're not worth it, or are you just having doubts about it in general, or are you telling yourself you're not worth it, or something like that? So just bear in mind, because of course we all have negative emotions, always, we're always going to have negative emotions. You can't be a fully positive person at all times, no one can. But when it's coming out in the aura, we may need to think about it a little bit, even if it's just a tiny bit. Why is this coming out in the aura? Am I doubting myself too much? Am I doubting this connection too much? Because if you're doubting yourself a bit too much, you may delay the right positive connection coming in. So just to bear that in mind. But you do have this big love energy, this big love colour here. Then as we move out a little bit, we have the indigo, which is very indigo at the top, and at the bottom it has some more, it's kind of coupled with pale blue. So it's kind of almost stripy. Of course, I do a very simplistic version of what I see with my beautiful artwork here, but yes, you do have some little bits of pale blue in there as well. So indigo, that spiritual connectedness, that spontaneous energy, that spontaneous spirit, that spirit that gets a little bit bored and wants to try new things, that what else is indigo? Adventurous, connected, deep intuition sometimes, and especially when we go up to this purple, this indigo and purple together would rarely say deep intuition. You must have some level of intuition that you can tap into. But yes, you might be spontaneous, you might be someone who isn't, you're not boring, you like to try new things. You're someone who can discern truth from lies, which is very important. Discerning truth from lies, very important, especially if we are doubting this connection. Don't doubt it, because you can discern truth from lies. You can discern what's good and what's bad. It seems like you might have people like this with a lot, because we see that the indigo is quite dominant in the aura. You may be someone who's a good judge of character as well, a lot of the time. So we have also that blue, that nice pale, more not indigo, but just a blue. And this is someone who is calming, probably good at or likes at least meditation, relaxing, probably finds this music nice and relaxing. You're approachable. You may be someone others can confide in, when we have a lot of pale blue and a lot of empathy energy, these are often people who give good advice. People like to tell them their problems because they like the advice, you know. You see a lot of pale blue and green in people who are kind of therapists, or, you know, people who do a job where they work one-on-one with people, and they're really kind of they you know, they're good at talking, at responding, telling people, like, not just what they want to hear, but the right thing as well, you know, the right advice. So people can confide in you. You're quite calming. You might be a mediator. You might be able to break things up, you know. If there's a fight breaking out between people, you might be able to calmly alleviate it. But yes, very nice, calming, probably likes meditation, coupled with the spontaneous energy, the kind of the wants to try new things kind of energy, and spiritual potentials, spiritual connectiveness, especially as we move out here, and we're all the whole of the blue enveloped by this beautiful purple energy. Purple, spiritual awareness, enlightenment, someone who's very unifying, someone who's very, they don't have the limits of their ego, because they can transcend their ego. They can see the bigger picture. They aren't kind of wrapped up just in the kind of the physical. They can be philosophical thinkers, people who are, you know, deep thinkers, and again, intuition. We're seeing with both of these colours, intuition. We do have a little bit of grey in the purple here, and this could be self-doubt about something like that. So perhaps you do have strong intuition, but perhaps you doubt it, you know. There could be some doubt about the height of your spiritual abilities. There could be some doubt about the height of your intuition. There could be some doubt about your what else was in purple? Yes, purple can also be someone who likes to inspire others as well, and who does inspire others. So there could be some doubt about your own kind of outward abilities as well. So you have these abilities to inspire others. You have this like we were saying here, where people can confide in you, people can trust you. You're very trustworthy and give the right advice. You might doubt that. So you might doubt that side of yourself that's very good at being a mediator, that's very good at your people skills, basically. You might doubt your people skills, you might doubt your spiritual skills, but grey is usually self-doubt or doubt about something. So not always about you, but with the purple energy being very internal, this would tend to be doubt about yourself. So doubt about your own abilities, doubt about, I mean, if you are a very philosophical person, and it's more, you know, because purple is more a spiritual colour, but the philosophical side can be intelligent as well. You know, there can be intellect within that purple. Do you doubt your, you know, how clever you are, how smart you are? Do you doubt yourself a little bit on that level as well? And then we have you're surrounded by this red, and some a little bit more red at the bottom here at the feet. So this is your warrior spirit, your resilience, your warrior spirit, your resilience, your passion. Perhaps you are in touch with your life goals, more physical life goals. Perhaps you do like, every now and then, it's not the most prominent colour, but it's a little bit prominent. Perhaps occasionally you like to indulge in those physical pleasures, you know. You are you could be energetic some of the time, lively. You could have a great passion for something that you really want to make sure that that passion is on your life path. You could be focused on your physical life path a little bit because it's the external colour. So sometimes the external colour is the thing that either we need to focus on the most or that we are focusing on the most. So perhaps it's that you're focusing a lot on your physical path at the moment, and that's why it's taking the outer edge of the aura. Could be really focusing on this physical path. You really want to make sure that your life path, your life goals are, attained. You're strong, resilient, realistic. Often people with red in the aura are realistic. So they can be a bit grounded, realistic, practical. Can have practical abilities. So when we see all this kind of spiritual connectedness, intuition and all of that, we have also this practical energy balancing that out a little bit there. So Jasmine says, this ties into the crystal ball reading where you said I could be working with people one-on-one. Yes, absolutely. And you like the music, which is very good for those meditation people. Amazed with the stuff going on. I thought my aura was going to be a bit dark. Just a little bit of grey there and around some of these pink flecks that I did see here. But nothing dark, nothing like overly negative or attachment or anything here, and nothing murky as well. So it's mainly the grey, it's mainly the doubt or self-doubt that you're having. That and Jasmine also says doubt is something I'm working on. So yes, absolutely. So that makes sense. So it makes sense that it will come up then, the grey around these areas, but the most grey is around. You can't see it probably here, but the most grey is around. It's in the purple, but around this blue. So it could be doubting your own abilities, your own kind of, your intuition, your guidance. It could be doubting about where you're being guided onto your life path, because like you're saying there, working one-on-one with people, maybe you doubt that. Maybe you think that you whatever it is that you would like to do working one-on-one, maybe you don't think you can do that. Maybe you have a bit of doubt about that, but that is where most of the grey is, around there. So it's not really coming in to the blue, it's not really coming into that. So it would link more to your thought process, thought patterns, or spirituality. So where you're saying doubt is something you're working on, that makes a lot of sense. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed, and let me know in Facebook Messenger if you want me to send that, because you're the last person, so I probably won't forget, but yeah, it's just easier for me if you comment on Facebook if you would like the picture sent to you. And I send a link to my article where I do talk about the different colour meanings, so if you forget, you can always look up on that article or ask me any questions as well. So thank you so much to everyone who joined. Very nice to do some new people, or reading for some new people as well. That was really nice. Yes, if you would like the picture, like I said, message me off stream for the picture. And I've really enjoyed the stream, so thank you so much to everyone who came. Love, light and blessings to each of you. Hope to see you all on a stream very, very soon. And really, really glad for everyone who loved their readings. Love, light and blessings, Jasmine. And everyone else who did join the stream at some point. I know we probably only me, Jasmine and Leon in now. But regardless, love, light and blessings to both of you. Hope to see you very soon on another stream.